This is awkward. You're expecting a bard, or at the very least a storyteller of merit. Instead, you get a thief. If it's any consolation, I am a damned good thief. Or I was. But you see, I have made a mistake. I have stolen something that needs tending. I have stolen something that, without my intervention, will surely die. I've stolen a story. My name is Vanda, and for the very first time in my life, I mean to tell the truth. The truth of the five. Don't expect flowery language or poignant metaphor. I am not some god's damned bard. But in a realm forgotten, you will remember them. You will remember the five. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Realms Remembered, our D&D 5e campaign set in a mixture of pop culture references like a Baz Luhrmann movie and the gritty, no holds barred Game of Thrones style that we'll see a little bit of today. I will let you know a few things, everybody, for those of you that have been following around The Realms Remembered. We have had several boons gifted to the players. If you would like to do so yourself, you may look down and see that there are ways to give plot armor and advantage and also features. And if we trigger certain amounts of things, there are polls that we give to our companions, to our friends. And one of those has been triggered. And that one that has been triggered is for our bard, Lauren. So as Bianca rolls tonight, because of the gifts of the Legion, she will be rolling with advantage for everything that she rolls. This has already occurred, as initiative has already been rolled for the top of the game. But we know why we're here. Now we need to know who makes it possible. And that, my friends, are our sponsors, namely Roll20. If you would like to create realms of your own to remember, make sure you go to www.roll20.net/realms remembered, and you will be able to go and create your own realms, upload your own tokens. It is browser enabled, and it is our virtual tabletop of choice. And then if you're looking around and you're thinking, I have a home game, I need to get some dice, well, please go over to our friends at Die Hard Dice, and once you've stocked up your cart, go to the coupon code, type in The Grim, and get 15% off your order. Again, if you want to help below, you can check out everybody. But this is going to be an interesting one, so I want to get right into our stolen story. But before we do so, I would like to thank anybody. It is Veterans Day here in America, and I would like to thank anybody that has served. I am of mixed emotions. My grandfather won the Silver Star for bravery. And often I was told in school that it's something that is the country will never forget or will be written down. Here's the story. My grandfather jumped into a fuel truck while the airstrip was being strafed, He drove over to a downed aircraft, pulled the pilot from the craft, put the wounded pilot into the fuel truck and drove away. And that is a story that is 100% true. However, he got the Silver Star not for rescuing the pilot, he got the Silver Star for making sure the fuel truck was out of enemy fire. So, I tell the story because we remember our men and women in service and all that they've done, because it is our stories and our tales that will continue to tell all the story. So with that, without any further ado, thank all of you for your service, and we will see what type of service we have today. Hopefully it's not funereal, as we get ready to see our friends. When last we met them, they were in the pagoda of Ironbender, his Sancta Sanctorum, where James, our cleric, had run into a little bit of trouble. A storm is brewing, you might hear a bit of it, and that storm is raging outside, but as they creep into the upper levels of the pagoda, everybody in various states of alertness, the only PC to remain outside was Ulfzik, as he crouched and began to listen. But as everyone looked around, the entire place went dark. We have rolled initiative. We are, in fact, in the Pagoda of Ironbender, and it is now time to start our tale. And we welcome in all of our players. As initiative has been rolled, your world has gone dark, and it is time to decide what the fates have in store for our crew, as I believe this is one of the few times that you will have entered combat together. And so as one unit in the top of the Sancta Sanctorum, I would like to let you know that Lauren rolled a nat 20, but so did I. And so
that's fitting.
I get to go first. Does a 15 hit anybody's AC? Is it anybody that it doesn't hit?
It's me.
If it hits you, you all take 6 cold damage as you feel something smash at you in the darkness. And as that pummeling hits you, there is a frozen quality to the pain, that heat, and then that searing, that blistering of cold. Also need Bianca to make me a strength saving throw.
Big 5.
Okay, Bianca, if you would do me a favor, hold tight and don't say anything as we go to your turn at the top of the order, and you are going to take 9 additional damage. This is all happening in pitch blackness. I need you to make another strength saving throw. You are able to break the chain that is around your neck for a moment as you pull it away, and with that your air rushes back in. You do not take any damage. Something is behind you. Something is immediately behind you, has wrapped a chain around your throat. You can feel the links and the cold of the metal. And as you pull it back, I'm going to give you a chance to say or do anything else you would like. You're not technically grappled at this point as you've broken free, but that's just the narration. In your ear, you hear a whisper, "And I'm here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away. It's not fair to deny me of the cross-eyed bear that you gave to me. You ought to know.
So all that comes out as she kind of turns toward whatever is behind her is this exhalation of breath, but then it keeps going higher and higher in pitch. She doesn't mean for it to get higher or louder, it just does. And I'm going to guess Thunderwave at second level. Get away.
Okay, what's the
just behind me. Let me get it. It is a DC 13 Constitution save.
Okay, you feel whatever was behind you gets ripped away from you as it spins back. What is that, 9 thunder damage? Or
11.
11? Okay. You just feel it disappear almost as soon as that whisper ended in your ear. You feel it get ripped back. Everyone else would hear this crack of thunder.
Yeah, she starts kind of just blindly, because I do not have time to cast light, kind of blindly groping for whoever's next to her. I think Yuknon was the closest to her, so she just starts reaching out, trying to find someone.
Can Yuknon see through the dark?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's just moving kind of where he should have been, trying to find him.
Okay, I tell you what, let us do this as far as an orientation kind of roll. Give me a dex saving throw, because it was not a still motion that happened. There was a struggle that went on, and you have no bearing at this point.
15?
You reach out and you feel the fur of Yuknon's cloak.
Hi, something's in here. I'm hurt badly. You are strong. Stand in front of me and take inspiration.
And with the casting of inspiration, Roberts, you hear this crack of thunder. You feel the pain of the cold that something slaps against you. You can see nothing. What do you do?
She's just like, fuck, and drops down to her knees, and I'm gonna dig in my bag and grab Sister Ott's bowl. Because in her head, something is happening with the ley lines, and if this creature has been feeding off of them, she's hoping she can see it if she makes the sound, if she makes the high-pitched sound. So she's just groping in her bag until she feels them and is gonna pull them out of her bag and start blindly trying to recreate the sound.
Okay, I will allow you, because you all don't have much in your packs, or your pockets, or your possessions. So the bowl itself is one of your dominant instruments. So yeah, you're able to quickly grab it. You were just given it, just recently.
Yeah.
So it would be at the top anyway. So I will allow you to do this. Roll me an Arcana check.
Okay. I'll use my advantage, one of my advantages really quick. A 16.
Okay, so as the bowl goes off with its tone, everybody can hear this tone go off. And with its one single holding note, for a moment, as the note pierces the area, you can see an outline of blue and white energy that seems to be spotted with that absence that you saw in the one ley line. But as soon as the note's over, it's gone.
Did anyone else see it but me?
Just you.
Great.
And we just got advantage in from Hawkeye for everybody. So please, everyone, make sure you take that.
She's gonna just try and like basically track it in her mind. Like she knows that. Obviously, she's gonna be blind here in a second, but
What we're going to do is, for your next turn, if you need to do anything that requires you, that would have normally, that's your target, you'll roll normally without disadvantage.
okay.
So for a moment, you have that after image, provided there's something else doesn't happen. We'll see. But as of right now, you're good. Anything else, Roberts?
Nope, that's gonna be it for now.
Yuknon, you're up. You've been inspired.
Yuknon grabs the bottom of her arm as she kind of latches onto him, and he says, "I've got you. Where is the thing?"
Well, there's nothing to reference, but and she kind of pulls his arm the way that she had cast the thunder wave, and that's all she can do. That way, 10 feet or more.
Could I hear them having this conversation?
Yeah, everything's happening at once.
Yeah. Then you would hear Roberts yell out from wherever she is in relation to you, where it is in relation to her. So, like, 4 yards to my left or whatever.
Right.
And that way you can at least have 2 directional ideas of where it might be.
All right, so Yuknon will is she holding on? Is Bianca holding on to Yuknon's arm? Like, if he moves, is she moving with him?
I think so. And you would also notice her voice sounds like really strained.
I heard the scream. I think Yuknon probably covered one of his ears. He has his bone blade in the other hand. So he would drag Bianca. Then I guess he could drag her up to 15 feet if he's pulling her along and kind of keeping her behind him. And in one hand at first, and then 2 hands, he wields his blade, which is crafted from bone. But at the end of last session, he cut his hand on it, and as he did so, it began to glow with this sort of spectral white light, and it became sort of transparent, almost ghostly. And he moves in the direction that Bianca's pointed him in, and he, as quickly as he can, with pulling her along, and then he frees himself just long enough to take a wide swing across his body with his blade.
Dawn, does an 11 hit Yuknon's AC?
It does not.
Yuknon, as you would...
Oh wait, it does.
You take 6 additional cold damage as something that was engaged with you takes an attack of opportunity. And it hits you as you begin to move in the direction that Bianca initiated. Awesome. Bianca and Roberts talked about.
So he feels it like from his side as he's moving forward?
It would be in the same direction where you got hit from before, as if you were fighting a martial opponent.
Can he feel a physical force, or is it just like a biting cold?
It feels like there's a slap to it. There's a physical resonance as it hits, and then you've got the cold sensation.
Okay, so scratch what I said before. If he feels a physical hit come in, he stops immediately, and he turns his body, and as he does, he thrusts his blade directly towards whatever that creature is.
Roll me an attack at disadvantage, please.
I'll use one of my advantages to make it normal.
Hell yeah. Roll that damage for me, buddy.
That is also going to be 12. That is going to be 37 slashing damage and 5 radiant damage.
Okay, so Dawn, as Yuknon turns and kind of addresses the blow that was given to him and sends it back in the way that the force went, for a moment, much like Roberts saw the outline, you see and feel your blade bite into flesh. And as it bites in and drives deep, you feel the friction, that slick friction of the insides driving through with just enough pressure. You see an outline of this creature, and you see that it has arms stacked, 2 at the shoulder and 2 below it. But as you hit, it explodes, and you see almost like paper or leaves being strewn in the wind. You see it.
And as he drives through it and it explodes, do I have the ability to cleave here? Is there anything else adjacent that I can reach?
You absolutely do. You can cleave through, as this was uninjured, and the closest person to you is, we're going to say, Summer. So Roberts is the closest to you with the indication that was given. So if you'd like to roll me another attack at disadvantage, you may absolutely do. Wait, with a natural 20 and it bleeds over? Yeah,
the extra damage bleeds over. So is there another creature I can hit?
As you destroy the one and it bursts into paper, the continuation of your swing takes the 2 arms off of the creature's left-hand side that is facing Roberts. As you hit, again, the light trailing the scattered ash and leaves of what was the creature on you. As soon as it takes the arms from the left side, Roberts and Yuknon and Bianca would see this creature outlined as both of the still present arms grasp at the stumps that were left behind.
So, and as he drives through, he's lunging forward. He actually, his back leg locks, his front left leg bends. He thrusts through this creature, and with the light showing that secondary creature, he reverses his grip on his blade and he swings the sword upwards in a circular motion, and that's what takes off the 2 arms on the left side.
Fantastic. Cleave used right from the jump. I love it. I love it. Okay, anything else that Yuknon would like to do in this bevy of attacks?
He's just going to pull back and put his body between that creature that he knows is now with Roberts and protecting Bianca.
Roger, roger. As we go over to James. James, you've heard all this, the screaming, the thunder, the yelling out of positions, and then the sundering of something. You even feel something pass by your face and your beard as what was the creature that was cleaved brushes in its escape to the afterlife. Everything is cooled in the room here, but you are standing. You have been struck by this cold attack as well. James, what do you do?
Well, I have to turn my head until the darkness goes. So can I cast Bless in the darkness? It doesn't say that I have to see them. It says I have 3 targets in range.
Throw it up in chat and
Yes, sir. And it's gonna be a level 1, of course.
yeah,
What if I heard their voices?
yeah, we'll say that because you heard all of them yell out something. So I will allow you to do it to Bianca, Roberts, and Yuknon.
Yeah, he's gonna hit those 3, since apparently the monster, whatever it was, is closest to them. He will hit them with Bless. He will say, "Oh, my bless them," and then that means they have either a D4 in attack or a D4 in saving throws.
Roger that.
And he's going to kind of mutter to himself, trying to think. He starts saying Harlan was a good man, a simple man, but a good man. He kind of starts chanting that over to see if that does anything. Like he can counterbalance, because it's his own words that are being used. So he starts to chant that.
Roll a persuasion check.
I think it creeps the rest of us out.
Yeah, probably would. I'm going to use my advantage on this, I guess.
Sit back on that for a second.
Okay.
Anything else you'd like to do?
No, he blessed him. He's going to. Can he feel to see if he's against a wall? Like he wants to put his back to the wall. Can I move? Like he puts his arm out. How close to the wall is he? Like so something can't come behind him.
Well, I tell you what, again, just to get your position, a dexterity saving throw, as a lot has gone on. You were hit, you were turned a bit. You're pretty sure it's off to your right. You've been in this room before,
Right.
twice now. You're pretty sure that if you're still in the same position, it should be off to your right.
James would, as he's chanting that, he says, "Watch the sand. Don't step in the sand."
And so
I don't know if
you're going to make your
Yeah.
way over to the wall?
Yeah, he's going to make himself so nothing is behind it. He's going to put his back to a wall.
Okay. Does a dirty 20 hit you?
It
You-
does it.
You feel the physical strike of 6 cold damage as soon as you leave the position that you were and move towards the wall, but the wall you do find.
Okay.
It is at this point that Chirp, who is with you, begins to swing and yell out, "What's going on?" And with the whoosh of a longsword, there is a strike, and there's another one of those outline flashes off to Robert's right as she strikes something with purpose. Ooh, nice. But then it is Ulfsik. Ulfsik, you hear all of this going on inside the room. You two are in darkness, but let me know what you'd like to do.
Did I take that cold damage that everybody took?
You did, yes.
Well, how much was that?
6.
So, like a hunter stalking his prey, he's been crouching at the mouth of this staircase, silently drawing 2 spears from the holster in the back. And right before he motions into attack, he taps the spear on the ground to kind of gauge all of the things that are positioned around him. And stealthily moving with the Gloomstalker trait, I can move 10 additional feet on this turn, wants to flank the thing that Yuknon is facing, if I can discern where it is with my boom.
As soon as you creep into the room, Ulfsik, and as soon as you get close enough to your friends, you see that there is a 4-armed creature on James. You see that there is another 4-armed creature that is, a 2-armed creature now that is in front of Roberts, and you see that Chirp is off against a creature as well. You do notice that against the far wall, just as you walk in, there is a Hardy and Hale 4-armed creature that seems to be shaking what passes for its head as if it has just been slammed against the wall.
Okay. Would I be able to move through this space to engage the bigger fellow?
Absolutely. In fact, the bigger fellow is not looking at you, so roll me stealth with advantage, as you're cut from a different cloth, it would seem.
16.
You get right up on it, within spear's distance.
And in a whirling motion, he wants to take his first attack against... the big thing I will go ahead and use bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark on. I can throw that up in chat if you like.
Please, yeah.
Okay. And then I will take my main attack with Spear. $19.
That is definitely going to hit, my friend, as you thrust home.
And then I have an extra Gloomstalker attack that I can use if I took the attack action this turn, which does an additional D8 damage if it hits. Okay. And I'm going to use advantage on that.
Go for it.
21.
Absolutely hits.
So with first one is 8 damage. Second one, 6 damage.
And Hunter's Mark, right? Or did you get Hunter's Mark in there?
I
Oh, you got
I
it.
have that
Okay.
in there, and so the I have an additional 8 damage for the second attack for the Umbral Stalker, or Dread Ambusher feat.
Nice. Describe this to me, Billy, as you, Ulfzik lays down some smack on this creature that was not expecting it.
So he's able to tell where things are around him as he's skulking in and out of his allies, discerning through sound and smell and tasting the air where these beings are, and engages the bigger one without him being seen, leaps up into the air, slashes with the spear in his left hand, and then lunges with the spear in his right hand, and as it hits purchase, twists it and drags it back out of the larger being. And if he still can't see me, I'm sure I have his attention now, but he's looking right at me.
He does.
Then I'm going to take my spears, crouch down very close to the ground, and tap the metal of the spearheads on the ground to create a dissonant song with the tones of the metal clacking against the ground.
That is literally metal. Love it. Love it. Okay, I have something I have to do, unless you have anything else, Billy.
Oh, that was move bonus in main.
Okay. As the rest of you are engaged, I need Bianca to make me a strength saving throw.
Get out of town.
Again, Billy, you would Ulfzik would be the only one that would see this. As you tap the metal down, you see the creature in front of you recognize your attack and then shift away. And it's not a disappearance, it's almost like a blur through the night. If somebody were to run their fingers through a substance of shadow, tracing lines is what you see. And as it goes, it ends up directly behind Bianca. And again, that chain slips over or attempts to. And Bianca, you feel it coming as you're able to put your hands up and block it from garroting you around the neck again. But the creature is again within melee, and it is your turn. Oh wait, one other thing.
Oh, sure, what?
That's gonna miss. 10 hit anybody? You guys are good then. Proceed.
Great. Knowing it's behind her, I think she is gonna do the exact same thing, except this time, instead of the almost constricted scream, it's a very loud "fuck off" thunderwave.
Wait.
It's behind me.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. I don't think that's okay. I'm just gonna do it again.
This time, as if it's ready for it, it kind of bears down and its forearms cross at the wrists in front as the thunder wave disperses around. Let's do this. Let's make a dexterity saving throw at advantage for Roberts and James, just to see, because we're in very close proximity, and the only person I know that's in front of you is Yuknon and Ulfzik.
Does bless count towards this?
Yep, it's a save.
Okay.
And you have
A
advantage.
D4, right?
Yeah, you have advantage because...
Oh. Well, we'll see.
Nice.
Yay, 15.
Okay, so Roberts, you're fine. Unfortunately, I need a Constitution saving throw from James.
That checks out. That fails.
It fails, and so you take 5 thunder damage as you're thrust up against the wall that you have just rushed to. And you crack against it, and you're able to reorient yourself, but the damage is done.
I have taken a true beating these past 2 episodes.
Yes,
Fine.
Yeah, it's coming all right.
Great.
James was Bianca, watch what you're doing.
Sorry, you can have inspiration. That's my inspiration for you.
Yeah, it doesn't work. He doesn't want it.
He refuses it.
He refused.
I refuse it.
Fine, I'll keep it then. Okay, so
Do you have anything else left?
I'm going to... I'm gonna see if it can talk more. That was so fun before. Basically after she shouts at it, it does still take 2 thunder damage, I think, from that.
Okay.
She like stills herself, knowing that it didn't move back, and says in its head, "What are you?" and allows it to respond with a bonus action.
As soon as you open up, you hear as if it is a chorus of thousands saying to you, Harlan was a good man, but a simple one. Harlan was a good man, a simple man, but over and over and over in different voices, different pitches, different, you're probably languages, because it's just everything is beat and measured, but you hear it in common and whatever else you understand.
I'm so sick of that story, and I'm not going to move out of melee, but I am going to switch sides of Yuknon.
Okay.
That's it for me.
So you're attempting to move and place Yuknon between you and the one at your back?
Oh, yeah, probably. Just like slightly in front of me.
Okay, I'll let you know that mechanically, if you move away from the one at your back, it's going to be an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, no, okay, I'll stay with him. I just kind of, like, turn him around. Here's another one! It's like a dance. I feel like this is definitely some kind of dance.
It's something. Roberts, you're up.
Yeah. I am going to use Fighting Spirit firstly, just to give myself advantage on weapon attacks. So I'll have advantage rather, because I was going to have normal before, I think. And it gives me 5 temporary hit points.
Take him.
To attack the one that Yuknon cut the 2 arms off of, the one that's like right there.
Absolutely.
Attack that one first. 24.
24 will hit. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 24 hits as you carve, and you describe how you want to do it and roll me some damage.
Yeah. So she's crouched down on the ground. Like she was never like fully down. Her legs were like ready to spring up, but she is actually going to go for the legs. Like we've taken out 2 of the arms if we can immobilize it at all. So she is definitely staying kind of low. If Yuknon's going to continue to attack up high, she's going to hit it again down low. I'm going to use my action surge and go again.
Okay, I'll let you know this. As soon as you cut with your intent to take the legs you do. But instead of topple the creature with, bisected thigh, it explodes into ash and burned paper around you. And you see that outline for a second, and then it too is gone.
There was another one close by me that Chirp carved into, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, I'm going to go for that one then.
Alrighty.
As she just kind of swings around and continues the motion through.
And do you still have your advantage helper on?
Yep, it lasts my entire turn.
Okay.
24.
24 is definitely going to hit. Roll me some of that sweet damage.
9.
Tell me how you killed this one.
Oh my gosh. I feel like it's just like a continued motion where she swings out and away from Yuknon and Bianca and then just continues all the way around. She knows that also Chirp was standing. She's the only one that's kind of like down low other than Ulfie, but she can't see him right now. And she's going to continue around and then carve her sword up and like through the chest of the second one as she gets to her feet.
And it's exactly what happens as you cut the legs out of the one, drive home on the one that's on Chirp. You are again covered in this explosion of shadow and mist, and the creature in front of you is now insubstantial and it is gone.
Yep, that's the end of my turn.
Yuknon.
So Yuknon's just been spun around so that he's facing Bianca now, and he says, duck. As she ducks, he tumbles over her back, lands on his knees, and then brings his blade upward, like straight up into the air, trying to cleave this thing.
Absolutely. You can roll your attack with disadvantage.
Nah, I'll use an advantage here.
Got blessed too.
And inspiration.
Oh yeah.
And you have the D4 of bless.
And my moral support.
All right.
And
Well.
my back. It's a good one.
All right. Yeah. Then I'll just roll it regular. I'll save the inspiration.
Saving the inspiration. Oh wait, something has just come in.
What?
Advantages and plot armor for everybody from Sphinx. Sphinx, you probably have just saved some people.
Oh, me definitely.
Way to go, Sphinx. Everybody, please, you have plot armor, and you have another full round of advantages has come in for everyone. So thank you, Sphinx, and thank you, Hawk, earlier. Goodness gracious. Just in the nick of time, Sphinx. You're not late. A wizard arrives exactly when he means to. So Sphinx.
All right. I feel like in that case, I'm definitely using an advantage. I changed my mind again.
Okay. Well,
So I'll just roll normal.
sure.
And then I have a D6 of inspiration.
From me, bless from James.
So
Ooh,
13,
you got a puncher's chance here.
14. I don't like the way you said that, so I'm going to use another D8 of
Love it.
inspiration.
Love it, Dawn.
Okay.
How about a 21, Greg? Does that hit?
21 hits, Don.
Okay. All right. Let's see. And then I get to re-roll that 2. Take it higher. It's gonna be 19, so 15 slashing damage and 4 radiant damage.
Okay, so let's see. What was it? You said 19 slashing and 2 radiant or 4 radiant?
4 radiant and 15 slashing.
Alrighty. That strikes very hard against the enemy that is on Bianca, and we're gonna say that because of the roll that you conducted, give me an acrobatics check. You're gonna make it. You're gonna be able to roll over her. This is just to see that if you have now interposed yourself between the creature and Bianca. Just a bit outside. Bianca, you are still engaged melee-wise.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
Alrighty. Yuknon, you are now, though you can't see it face to face with this thing, is there anything else you'd like to do?
After he brings his blade up and he can feel it cutting through whatever material makes up this creature's body, he thrusts his sword down into the ground and he leans back, trying to protect Bianca as much as he can. He brings his bloody palm up to his amulet that he wears at his neck, but he just stays there. He doesn't do anything yet.
Okay. James.
Did my persuasion check do anything to help me out in any way, shape, or form?
You are unsure.
Okay, well, I'm going to, so I got this thing on me, right?
You do.
Do I know where it is?
You don't. You just know that it hit you when you moved away 10 feet.
So what if I spray guiding light or sacred flame in front of me? Do I think that might do it?
Not sure.
I'm gonna take a chance and see if that illuminates it. Oh, you got to make the save.
You see a splash, but you don't see, as almost as if as soon as it is conjured or divined into existence, it is swallowed by the darkness. It doesn't illuminate a thing. It's like somebody put a drop of water into a bowl of ink.
Okay, well, I'm gonna. James would probably brace himself for another hit with the shield. If I can use like a bonus action to like brace myself.
I'll let you brace yourself, sure.
Okay, he'll brace himself. That's the best I can do right now. Yeah, he'll continue to say Harlan was a good man, a simple man, but a good one.
Okay. And then, Roberts, you would feel Chirp kind of, she's spinning. What's happening? What's happening?
I'll reach out and if I can, grab her arm and just be like, it's okay. Just to kind of steady her.
As soon as she feels your arm, you feel her pull you, and you feel her back against yours as she spins and gets back to back with you. How many? How many?
I don't know how many are left in here, do I? Yeah, she just says, I don't know, but I think if there weren't any left, we would be able to see.
You just feel her back kind of press more against yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll stay there with her and just wait, basically, for the next whatever comes.
Right, just so everyone knows, her ready to action is to strike if anything comes towards her.
Yep.
Ulfzik, you have seen this transpire, the only one to bear witness to it. What would you like to do?
The one that I have Hunter's Mark, is that the one that snuck up behind Bianca?
Correct. It's the biggest of the ones that you can see.
I want to skulk through the room and get like a flanking, so be behind it, and then attack.
So you're going to try to get on the opposite side of it from Yuknon to enable Yuknon to is there and engage so you can flank it?
Yes.
You may attack with advantage, my friend.
Okay. Still have Hunter's Mark. 18.
We'll hit.
That's 14 damage. And then I'll use my bonus attack to attack with my offhand spear. Dirty 20.
Yes, that will definitely hit.
5 piercing.
Very good, very good. You describe how you strike into this with both the same attack pattern as before, or are you switching it up a bit?
So a wide slashing arc with the left hand, and then a lunge again with the right hand to try to hit something vital and twist and pull out of it. And then after I strike at it with that sequence, I want to take a glance around the room, tap the ground with my remaining spear, and then I can see, how far can I witness? How far does my discernment go?
You're able to see the one that's basically kind of, you can see that there's a back-to-back Roberts and Chirp off to, about 10 feet, between 5 and 10 feet away from the group. You can see that Bianca and Yuknon are engaged with the larger creature that you've now flanked. And if you kind of scan to kind of like at your 5 o'clock, you can see that James is against the wall and there is one directly in front of him.
Sorry, so is that 2 total enemies?
2 total, yep.
And then he's going to take his spear, and much different than the way he was tapping to discern things. He's going to take the spear in his right hand and clunk the ground twice very hard, as an intent to relay a message to the rest of his team.
Okay. So as you're giving taps and sonar signals to everyone, we are going to go back up to the top of the round. Does a 16 hit Yuknon's armor class, and does a 16 hit James's armor class?
Yuknon spends his reaction. He's got his hand around his amulet, and he starts whispering for those few seconds. You'd probably hear, Bianca, because you're close, just the words, "My queen." And after he says that, he spreads his cloak, and a flock of ravens explodes out of his cloak. And this is this. Use my reaction to impose disadvantage on an attack roll, and I'm going to amplify it. So I take 2 damage, and the creature, the big one's like right in front of me still, right?
Correct, yes.
His next 2 attacks are at disadvantage.
Okay.
Not just this round, just his next 2 attacks. So the one that he comes in at will be at disadvantage instead.
Okay, so we'll take the. I will be fair and take that the roll that he rolled with advantage. So I'll take the lower of the 2 here, and would a 13 hit you?
Oh,
Yes.
cutting words that.
Okay.
He's got blessed too.
Yeah, I'll cutting words it. Just like, no, I don't think you heard me. I said, fuck off. Yes.
And with the combined magics at play, what would have struck true instead sweeps down and strikes beside, as unseen to all but Ulfsik, a blade of ice crashes down beside Yuknon but does not cause any damage. James, does that 16 hit you?
Oh yeah, I should have. Even with Shield of Faith, I'd have been at 16. So
You take 6 cold damage.
back to the plot armor, Sphinx.
So again, it smashes up against you as this creature is, you can't see, but you feel its ire and its attack. That is its turn for right now. Bianca, what would you like to do?
Hey. Question. Seeing kind of how the darkness is working in here, do I think if I cast light that it would penetrate it? Because that's magical light.
I'll give you a free Arcana check.
Thanks. Okay. Let me find where 15.
You're not sure. This seems to be pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And there are certain darkness spells and abilities that do not accept light.
Right.
You think you might be
Okay.
dealing with one of those.
Okay. Then hearing where Ulfie tapped, I'm going to disengage and move back toward that sound that he made. Or just no, because sorry, I mixed something up. I'm going to disengage and just back the hell up. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
And I'm going to hold on to that. So sure, wow, good job, Lauren. That'll have to be it for this turn.
Okay. With Bianca backing up and the disengage action taken, Roberts, what do you do with Chirp at your back?
So I think because we are not currently engaged with one and Roberts just doesn't want to go like swinging into the darkness, I think I'm going to hold my action until somebody else makes contact enough for me to see it
Okay.
and basically drop back in the turn order.
So you're waiting for the flash. You're waiting for that flash that you can divine. Okay.
Yeah, or for like someone to call out because like all I've heard is those tappings in the dark, but that doesn't really give me anything. And with so many people in here that she doesn't want to hit, she's gonna wait until she's sure that she can see it enough to attack it.
Okay. Your action is held. Yuknon.
Yuknon kind of turns his ear after the blow strikes into the ground beside him, and he hears the caw of the flock of ravens as they are swarming around whatever this creature is in the darkness. And he draws his blade back up out of the ground, and he's going to attempt to. I have advantage because Wolf 6 on the other side, and I could hear him tapping, right?
Normally you would need to be able to see him to gain the advantage, but I tell you what, roll me a let's do just a straight perception check just to see how in tune these newly acquired friends are.
Okay.
Would it be okay if I did this too? Because I'm assuming that he's gonna hit it. So I'm assuming I'm gonna be moving soon.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's do this. Let's do a perception, and the DC is 12 for both of you.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's like trying to triangulate between the sound that struck the ground, the sound of his ravens that are swarming and squawking, and the sound of Wolf 6 tapping of the spear on the ground.
I'm gonna use my inspiration. Great.
You both can attack with advantage, which would negate it, and then, so these are straight attacks for you all.
Normal attack.
Normal attacks, yep.
So yeah, he pulls his blade back up out of the ground. He tries to like get a running start to like jump up and see if he can smash down into this creature just with as much force as he possibly can.
It steps out of the way as it crashes down, almost in a mirror of what you did. As the blade struck down, just missed it, you just miss it with the bone blade as it steps and allows it to crash, and then it kind of moves, all of its arms kind of flowing to shoulder lead toward you. Roberts, I will let you do something here as if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually trigger my fighting spirit again. I can do this 3 times, so I'll take advantage on this attack, and I'm gonna basically reach back and tap Chirp and say, "Follow me," and I'm gonna like tug her in the direction that I'm moving, so she has enough time to kind of turn around as I run forward to hit the creature. Here we go.
Okay.
13.
A 13 misses again.
Oh wait, I get a D4 because bless.
There you go. You have a puncher's chance.
16.
Just hits.
Yay!
Do I get my D4 from Bless as well?
So you both just hit.
I was going to say something. But I didn't.
Oh god.
You can always yell bless at us, Steve.
And that's 6 damage.
I actually had forgotten that you guys had bless. 6 and 7.
And I get to re-roll that D12 because of my savage attacks. No, doesn't matter. It's still a 4.
You're still a savage.
I'm still a savage.
Yeah.
Okay, so you blister in, and as you hit with your strike and do your damage, even though she is not going to benefit from, she's going to strike with disadvantage, Chirp is at your side and does come in, and we're just going to throw her attack in here because she is up next. Actually, James, but we'll put her in here now.
Angel.
Oh!
What? I'm glad you did go before me.
Yep.
What a
Hey,
babe.
Chirp, stay with us forever.
Stay with us forever.
With a flash of light, Chirp follows you in, and as you strike, you feel the padded jacket of her arm as she's double-handing the longsword. She follows your strike almost blade to blade as you thrust, and as you cut in, a half second later, she pierces in as well, as light floods back into the chamber, and there is an explosion of ash and shadow that dissipates around you all. The sounds of the storm are now being accompanied by the flashes of lightning that you couldn't see before. You see the entire situation at hand, and as you are all have this revealed to you, James, you look up and bear witness to the one that's on you as it begins to grow and assume a larger frame. And as it turns, it almost dismisses you, James, and kind of looks back at everybody else. The chain drops and a ball is hanging like a pendulum from its lower right hand.
Does it try to move?
No.
Oh, I was about to say attack of opportunity.
It is your turn, though. He is still engaged with you. Yuknon, if you have anything else here, I know that there was a flurry of blows that came in, but I think that...
No, I think he's going to kind of make sure, because in his mind, Bianca's still hurt, right? So he's just trying to make sure he keeps himself between whatever this growing creature is and Bianca.
You see now that she's 30 feet behind you.
Oh. He just kind of shifts over. He's tall, so...
Yeah. If he can't see me, that's
out of
great.
sight, out of mind.
The creature itself, now described to everyone, Ulfsik and Bianca have seen this creature before. It has 4 arms stacked atop one another. It has 2 legs, making it stand roughly 8 feet tall, but you gather it would probably be larger if it actually stretched its legs instead of had them kind of constantly bent in an almost kind of cloven variety. However, anything that is discerned of the physical nature, muscle, bone, skeletal structure, ribs, anything like that, eyes, nose, facial features are all a mass and a wash in what looks to be a swirl of the evening sky. You can see nebula, you can see star fields, you can see asteroids and planetoids that move up and down the wrists and the arms. They coalesce through the face as you see suns and stars move around, none of them producing light beyond the frame. But the creature is there. It has James to its immediate side. It looks at the rest of you as it is James's turn.
I'm gonna smack it.
Go for it.
No disadvantage on this one?
No disadvantage.
Okay, then I'm gonna use a bonus action too after that and hit it again with my War Domain.
It's gonna work.
Cracks it. Let's see here what I do. 6.
With 6, you smash your mace into it. You see kind of like a ripple, almost like you're hitting a pond or hitting stilled water as it ripples around the shot that you've just given it.
He's gonna strike again. He's gonna say monster. I see my green sea turn to a deeper blue.
That one's going to miss.
We didn't get inspiration, did we? Trying to think. Yep, I'll just. All right, that's pretty much what I can. He's trying to distract it back at him. He sees that he turns on his friends. He wants to get it back at him.
Okay.
Looking for that damn red door too.
We already had Chirp go with everybody else. Ulfsik, you see this going on. You see that there's one creature left. It's currently engaged with James as everybody else is in various states of positioning throughout the room. What would you like to do, my friend? You're probably the closest to James right now.
He's going to low and in very odd movements shift his way into melee range and slash again with the spear and lunge as a bonus action with you. With flanking, I would have advantage, correct?
Correct,
James?
yeah, because James is engaged with it. Hits.
23. And that would be 8 piercing. And then bonus attack with the thrust. 15.
That misses.
Can I use inspiration?
You sure can. If you use it, it definitely hits.
Okay, well, doing it.
And it still definitely hits. Go ahead and roll me that damage.
4.
Perfect. Okay, so as you tear in with your sequence of attacks that you've used on this particular one several times now, and as you rock into it, it still stands there and basically takes the shots as it begins to twirl this large ball on this chain. And now with your proximity and with James's proximity, you can see that as this begins to spin, the head on this chain begins to streak like a comet. It leaves a tail behind it as it's moving it. And as it begins to spin, is there anything else you'd like to do, Wolfsick?
Well, that's my move bonus in main.
Very good. Everybody make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Don't forget bless.
$27.
23. Wow, look
18.
at us with these blesses.
I think everybody passed except for Steve.
Great.
Alrighty. Steve, take 19 cold damage. Everybody else take 10 cold damage.
I am what we call in the business down and down. I'm at like negative 15.
I'm afraid you're dead.
I am dead.
No, you're down. You're making death saving throws, my friend. How's everybody else looking?
Amazing, great, fantastic. Thank you for asking.
6.
Charming.
Yuknon's got a bloody nose.
How badass. Awesome. Okay. That was the creature's attack this round. Bianca, you see James slumped down behind it.
Okay. Cool. I love that. So as she sees James go down, I mean, no one is looking at her right now, but it's definitely, I don't think anybody's seen her scared except maybe Roberts, but that's the look that's on her face. But as that happens, her eyes kind of cloud over until they're all green and her head falls back as she starts. It looks like she's mouthing, but this creature can hear that it's whispering. And I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers on it. So it makes a Wisdom save versus 13. Well, you can still take 7 psychic damage, sir.
And it does.
And then I think... Is there a way to get to James without entering his melee range?
Unfortunately, no.
Cool. Ugh.
Would I be able to, from a storytelling standpoint, if she wants to, if I see her trying to come in and help James, like lure the attack away from her, like smack the spears in the ground and start yelling?
You can absolutely try, sure.
Yeah, I think no matter what, save the priest, and she, as she recovers from that state, she starts trying to skirt along the edges to James.
Okay. I will say that using your full movement, you can definitely get to James.
Okay.
But I'm assuming you don't want to enter into melee with the creature, but kind of wait
Right.
outside. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get about 10 feet away, and you're able to see James slumped up against the wall there.
Okay. And that's it for now.
Roberts.
It's still engaged, technically, right? Now with 2 people?
No, it's not engaged with Bianca. It is engaged with Ulfsic, though.
Yeah, Ulfsic and James. Oh, I guess James is dead now, so whatever. Yeah, she, because they're kind of back a little bit, turns her head and looks over at Yuknon and then just smiles a little bit and then runs into melee and she's going to attack it.
Let's do it.
Okay. 15. Oh, wait, I have bless. Wait, do I
not.
Oh, he's
Bless anymore.
unconscious.
Yeah. I'm going to just keep saying he's dead, sorry.
As you strike, the spin of the comet-headed flail deflects with just a link of chain that seems to take your sword and carry it wide.
Yep, okay. That's all I can do for now.
Okay, you are engaged though.
Yep.
For the Yuknon.
Yuknon smiles back at Roberts a moment before she runs off, and a moment before he starts in the opposite direction, circling it from the other side. The flock of ravens flies up into the air, and for a moment, it kind of hangs up there in the vague shape of a skull, a human skull, and then it dissipates into the air. The flock kind of vanishes in a ghostly way. And Yuknon is jumping from left foot to right foot, from left foot to right foot, and then he leaps into the air and tries to thrust this creature from the opposite side of Roberts so that he has flanking advantage. Ooh, 13.
And as, again, the chain whips out at a very odd angle, it's as if the creature is controlling it with the 4 arms, taking lengths of it and using it to defend as well as attack. And again, your sword gets just knocked aside just at the last moment as the 3 of you are engaged with the creature. James technically is too. Anything else, Yuknon?
Once he lands to his feet, he just brings his blade across his body, hoping he can protect himself when this flail comes back around.
And as you assume a defensive posture, I need James to make me a death saving throw. It's 1 success. Ulfsic, you, Roberts, and Yuknon,
My bad. Let me did that. Sorry.
you fail. I gotcha. You have a
Chirp?
success. Chirp is going to run in, but I am going to say with the 3 of you in this position, Chirp can't get in because you're up against the wall as explained by James. So for the sake of logistics, Chirp is just kind of waiting to see if there's a position that opens up. She can't get in there, so I'm going to allow, you already had position and the other 2 went before her. James at the back, so there's no real way for her to get into this thing. All sides are covered.
So then, trying to find a weak spot, lunging in and around its arms, do lunge forward with both spears. (21)
21 hits.
And a not hit.
Right, the not hit.
7 piercing.
Very good, very good. Excellent. And
Now with my move, would I be able to, since James is unconscious, like move into his square and kind of like step over his body and kind of prevent any sort of attacks directly to him?
you would, but currently the creature is occupying James's square. If we're using like tactical, it's almost as if with the dropping of James behind, it's taken his position against the wall with you at one side, Roberts at the front, and Yuknon at the other side.
Gotcha. Okay. And then that's gonna be it for me.
Okay. So as we go back up to the top of the round, let's see. I'm gonna roll 2 D3s. 1 Ulfsik, 2 Roberts, 3 Yuknon. Roberts and Ulfsik. Let's start with Ulfsik and go left to right. That ain't gonna hit. And Roberts, that ain't gonna hit. As the chain moves and this creature is just unable to get a position against the two of you. It seems to be at just as much of a loss with this martial array as you are. Bianca.
All right. So I know it's standing over James, but I don't care. I'm very agile, right? So
Sure.
can I get up in there to get to James?
You can. I will just let you know that the Legion via Levi has given everybody another advantage. So, thanks to Levi, master always of the dreaded 666.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to, I guess, like, slip under it, like, along the wall, trying to not, like, bump Yukon and, get over to James, and I'm gonna try to, stabilize him. Is he bleeding?
You can't tell from here.
Or no, but I'm trying to get up on him.
Oh, I'll let you get up on him.
Yeah, I want to get up on him.
You're going to stay engaged, though?
Yep.
Okay, so you
I want to
basically...
be with James.
You are with James and with the
Yes.
creature who is straddling
Love
James.
it. Hate you.
Okay,
I'm very small, though. I'm a small, so I get under there.
so if once you get up there, you realize that James isn't bleeding, he's just down, and his breathing is very shallow.
Okay.
You can medicine
I'm
check if you'd like.
Yeah, I want to try to stabilize him, yeah.
Okay, roll me a medicine check.
I will use my inspiration. $12.
Breathing still seems ragged.
Cool. Well, I'm down here now. But I'm over him, protecting him, most definitely. I assume that's my action, so I'm going to just be ready.
Alrighty, as you are being ready, we go over to Roberts. Roberts' things in front of you.
Hi, I'm gonna use my last fighting spirit to take advantage on this hit, and give myself 5 temporary hit points. Here we go. 16. Huzzah!
16 just hits.
Yeah. 9 slashing damage.
You are able to slash into it. Again, you see that kind of carved, almost liquid movement of rippling and distortion in this bizarre creature. It doesn't, I mean, you can't tell if it's bleeding, you can't tell how much damage is being done to it, but you can feel it when you strike through.
Yep, and she's gonna move kind of back again. She's not like protecting Chirp, but she's trying to make sure that Chirp can't get into it, 'cause she doesn't want Chirp to die right now. I mean,
Okay.
she's sure she's gonna be fine, but just in case.
Gotcha. Yuknon.
As Robert slashes open that wound and Yuknon kind of rises up and he runs and he leaps up and he's going to try to drive his blade into that open wound and see if he can actually get purchase inside of it.
Gotcha. Go right ahead.
19.
That definitely hits, yes.
So that's going to be 12 slashing and 4 radiant damage.
Right. Gotcha. Very good. Make a perception check for me, Yuknon. You notice that now that you're up close and personal and you see everybody kind of delivering blows with spear and sword, You notice that when your blade hits, it seems to hold open this wave a bit longer. It seems as if there is more of a pronounced effect.
Okay, and so he's going to try to hold it there as long as he can, but I imagine that it does eventually close and kind of push him out. It's not forever, right?
Right. Yeah, you can't leave it in there. But whereas when Roberts struck, there was kind of a ripple in a pond. Where you strike, there is a parting of the waves for a moment and then a slow return to normalcy.
As it kind of pushes his blade out, he kind of flips backwards and lands back on his feet, low to the ground, and he'll just kind of call out to the others, "Weak to magic."
James, I need you to make a death saving throw for me, buddy.
The world is getting black.
Don't go through the red door.
Nope.
Another success.
You need to succeed.
Wolfsick, you would hear weak to magic. You would see your friends as you're all just hammering into this thing as it's sitting there taking the shots. But what would you like to do?
You're muted, Billy.
Don't have any magic, but I do have charm. So I'm gonna attack it twice.
Gotcha. I'm like, charm, like the spell? Yeah.
No.
Just straight good old fashioned charm.
Good old-fashioned violence in the form of charm. All right, 18.
An 18 hits.
And a 14.
14 misses.
I'm gonna use inspiration on that second one.
Gotcha. Second one hits as well. So you had 2 hits.
Okay, 5 piercing, 6 piercing. So that's 11 total, and the same kind of pattern. Opening, trying to cut at the scar that was made from before, but all he's working with right now is metal.
Always metal. All right. So with that, as the three of you are kind of around, Bianca, you're in the back. James is at the feet of this creature. There is a sound from the stairs as there is a rush and explosion of blue fire as the person that you know as Millie Trapp, the person that has been called Dread by Thrillquill, runs in with sword drawn, and as, we'll just say for narrative flair, as Yuknon kind of moved back a bit and said, it is weak to magic, she launches into the opening. For those of you here, she is a 70-year-old Helen Mirren. Half of her face is burning blue flame. We're not sure exactly what that means at this time. But as she comes in, she sees the creature, and we're going to have her attack first, so I don't... With a natural 20, as she comes in, you all hear her say, as if perhaps it was something sung in battles long ago. She faces the creature and says, "If I was your girl, the things I'd do to you, I'd make you call out my name and then ask who it belonged to. If I was your woman, the things I'd do to you, but I'm not." And she drives the sword into its gut, lifts up, and you see this small-framed woman take the creature to its toes as she lifts up, and she keeps looking in its face and says, "Then I won't. But if I was your girl." And she pulls it out as there is an explosion of ash and smoke. But I want everyone to roll me a perception check.
Can I use advantage on this one?
No advantage on. You can use advantage on this one, but Roberts, you get advantage on this one.
I do very bad.
With a critical, Ulfsic, as you're sitting there almost in the way that you sense things, you don't see the creature explode into smoke. You see the creature leap over Roberts, over Yuknon's position, and begin to run across the sand towards the balcony. No one else sees this.
Would I have time to launch one of my spears at it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Crit.
What's up with the crits tonight? Holy smokes! Buddy, roll that. That is a dope. And then I want you to explain it in the only way that Billy can, with awesome and metal.
Alright, so that's 12?
Yeah.
12 damage. So the shadowy thing seemingly appears out of nowhere, but there's like an odd breeze that catches his ear at a wrong angle, and he raises his eyebrow and turns over, and almost like a backhand leaps up and over his side, like chucks the spear this way, almost without even looking, just discerning where it is based off sound, and then it catches it right in like the back of its shoulder blade, one of its several shoulder blades, like right under the scapula-ish, if you could see a scapula.
Knock that bitch off the roof.
And then if the spear sticks inside it, he'd also say, "It is still here. It is fleeing. Follow my spear."
And we're going to say with a nat 20, that sucker does stick. As you all see a spear kind of stuttering over the sand, and with Ulfsic pointing everything out, you can see there are prints in the sand, kind of stuttered across as you see these odd, bizarre, three-toed footprints across the sand. Carrying atop is Ulfsic's spear. We're also going to say that when Ulfsic threw this using just sound, it went about an inch past Robert's head, as this spear just went like a laser right past your head as Ulfsic launched. But we're going to say you're all currently out of initiative. The creature is running across the sand. James is down. Let me know what you want to do, and I'm going to leave Chirp and I'm going to leave Dread to sit there and react however you need them to react. But this is a moment where everyone does something. What is your something?
Run after it.
Oh yeah.
Suit.
How far into the sand is it?
It looks like it's a good 10 feet. Maybe another 10 until it hits the balcony.
I think Yuknon would try to long jump to where he sees the spear like floating midair over the sand, and use the spear as like leverage so that he can dig his sword in.
Okay, that attack's going to happen, so get ready to roll it, Don. What does everybody else want to do?
Yeah, Roberts is like right behind Yuknon, sprinting after going for the spear. Like if she can just hit in the same spot the spear is, then she knows that she can connect. So just tearing across after it.
Okay.
I'd like to launch another spear.
Okay, you're going to throw from distance. Bianca.
Ulfsic, no, sorry. So she's still with James, and she turns very briefly to Chirp and Mildred and says, "Help him," gestures at him, and then her head falls back again as she casts Dissonant Whispers one more time.
Okay.
I'm going to make a death save.
Yes, you are. I tell you what, let's have Mildred and Chirp, they drop and start to like check you over, but your roll's still going to happen. So let's do Yuknon's attack, the spear attack, Robert's attack, and I'll roll for the dissonant whispers. That's going to hit.
And I'll use an advantage since there's no flanking by the time I jump to get there.
Sounds good.
Oh, 15.
Just misses.
9 points of psychic damage.
Gotcha.
Your attack, I'll burn an advantage.
$19 hits.
Sorry.
Oh,
the
crit.
first one was
Oh,
a
yeah.
crit. Yeah.
Jesus, yes, another crit.
Yo.
All right, so that's 16, 17. Nope. Yeah, 17.
Roberts?
I'm gonna burn advantage too. 22.
Okay, I'm going to add up your damage for me.
Yeah, it's just 12, and then plus Billy's. You said
What
17.
was your crit? 17?
Mm-hmm.
29 plus 9 is 38.
Anybody else got anything?
Stop it.
I need Constitution saving throws. Yuknon, when you hit the sand, and Roberts, you hit the sand. But all of these blows hit, and I want to see what happens to the two of you before I continue on with.
Yeah, I'm gonna burn another advantage.
Okay.
19.
Yep.
I'm going to just see what happens.
Love it.
An 18.
18's fine. Much like James felt whenever he stepped on the sand to begin with, there is a tensing of joints and a clenching of hands, but you're able to shake through the pain of the flexing of all of your muscles, and you're able to continue running. You two have the shot to see the other spear hit almost directly where the first one was hit, as the creature pitches, hits the railing of the balcony as the two of you strike true and blast this creature, sending it pitching off the back and tumbling from and free of the balcony. Yuknon, I need you to make me a perception check. Roberts, you do not have to.
I'll use my advantage on the perception check.
Look at that
Crit.
shit! Are you kidding me? There's a 20 DC on that for you. So as the two of you look over, just crystal clear for Roberts, you see the creature pitch with the storm raging off to along the coast. The rain hasn't gotten here yet. If it ever will, the sword sea is fickle when it comes to land. And as the creature flips and all of its arms go limp at wrist and elbow, you see just below there is the passage of the ley line with the black splotches in it, and the creature is headed what looks to be towards that line. But Yuknon, as you watch, you see this for the first time, this ley line pulsing with these black splotches of inky absence. And it's one of those absences, one of those spots of missing ley line that just happens to float into the ley line, and instead of hitting the line itself, what it intended to do, it passes through the void and crashes to the ground and comes to rest.
So the creature fell and he didn't go through the lane. He didn't make it. It didn't make it.
If it had hit at an appropriate time, it could have hit the ley line. but there was a chunk of the ley line taken out, and it fell just as the chunk hit, almost like the broken spoke of a gear. It just didn't make it. And it's laying out in the grass.
Is it visible on the grass?
You can see it, yeah.
Well, Sark wants to go down immediately and retrieve his spears.
Paid good gold for those.
Yuknon will get off the sand, and he'll rush over to the creature, and continue to observe it with his weapon down, just to make sure that it doesn't have like one more trick up its sleeve, because it's been fairly. It definitely has like some sort of illusion magic, right? It's definitely had some tricks up its sleeve. Do I need to make a check to make sure it's entirely dead?
No, perception of 24 earlier. We're going to say that covers it. I do want you to do this, though. As you're watching the creature, what was the vast nebula and galaxies that swirled in its flesh, one by one, they kind of wink out until you see just a very, not plain, but plain because of the subtraction of all of the fantastic, a field of stars. And I need you to make me a nature check, please.
Nature check. Could this be survival?
Oh,
Is this like to determine the kind of creature it is?
This is to determine. This is more of a navigation. As Greg completely forgets what system he's playing.
Like astrological.
Yeah. So I want more nature. Nature's what it's going to fall into here.
Oh, cool. I don't know.
Everybody else gets there too, and
Yeah, I'm trying to slap James awake. But priest, oh, save it.
James had a failure and
2 successes.
And 2 successes. I will allow you to make another medicine check before I have James make another death save.
Great. Wake up.
He wakes up. James, you feel yourself come back up. You have 1 hit point.
He'll cure wounds on himself immediately with his last spell. Use one on himself.
Good. Roberts, where were you headed?
If Yuknon is headed to the creature, she's gonna go too. So I'll go check it out too. See what's going on here.
And you all kind of run down the steps of the pagoda. You know, but you get out there and it's still there. Yuknon, you point, you're kind of the point guard for this. I'll allow you to make a nature check as well, Roberts, when you get there.
Yeah. 9.
You notice that there's 1 field of stars there. Wolfsick, I will allow you to make a nature check as well.
16.
These are the stars currently in the sky. Obviously not now, it's daytime and storming, but at night, these would be the stars and constellations that are visible in this particular region of the world.
He cocks his head, looks at it, and then looks up at Roberts and Yuknon. The constellations in the thing match the night sky as I saw it last.
Well, that makes sense, he says, not convincingly, as he sheathes his sword back over his shoulder and just kind of kneels down next to the creature. We've never seen anything like this, right? This creature doesn't look like any kind of creature that is native.
Other than the kind of descriptions that we got from
Right.
the other 2.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's humanoid in its shape. It does have an extra set of arms. But again, there's no way to really visibly pick out features. This thing is featureless. It's a mannequin. It's, even though it's down to 1 night sky, it's still impossible to kind of read anything beyond the surface level.
Potentially grotesque. Stop me if it's too weird. But if I, with my trophy taking fetish, like cut off its hand and like keep it as a trophy, what happens?
Roll me a sleight of hand. How do you cut it off?
So I'd like put a knee down on the hand, knowing that the rest of the arm is anchored to the body. Take the spear and like a dull knife through a stake, kind of over and over and over and over until the hand falls off.
Okay. You get about halfway through what you think, but you're meeting the same resistance. It seems to, even in this state, your weapon can't cleave through it. It can't. It's not progressing the way that you would think, even with it being dulled, even with this type of implement. It seems like it could be, but it's not.
Oh, Yuknand, would you mind checking to see if your blade would be able to cut this hand off?
Why do you need the hand, Wolfsick?
Why do you need pants?
I've wondered about that myself. And he draws his blade again, and he'll run again because it's solid. He'll run his hand up along the edge of it so that the blood from the open cut trickles off of the blade. And as it does, it goes ghostly again. It begins to glow again with the spectral light. And he takes damage for this. So I hope you get that hit. He'll take 3 damage. Oh no, it's just 1 damage because my new thing. And he will attempt to sever the hand with his radiant blessed bone blade.
We'll say we'll use the previous 18, as this was all part of the same action and intent. The hand does come off. As the hand comes off, just before the severing takes place, the stars in the field rush into the palm. And as you cut off the hand stays splayed open, and the night sky is in the palm of the hand. And as you cut it free, no blood, nothing rushes from the separation or the bisection, no viscera or anything of that nature, but the body begins to turn to shadow and ash. The hand, however, remains solid.
And Yuknad's sort of holding it up by its thumb and dangling it in front of his face and looking at the palm. He says, "That's actually quite nice. Here you go." And he tosses it over. Hand kind of flips through the air.
Thank
I
you for
actually
your
don't like that at all.
Do you say that out loud?
Mm-hmm.
Can I do something for you?
I'm sorry? What do you mean?
You don't like it, but I collect.
Oh, it has
I-
nothing to do with you. It has everything to
Oh.
do with the hand persisting while the rest of the body is gone.
Okay, I thought you were getting mad at me for something.
It's the
No.
constellations, the stars that persist. And he kind of gives Roberts a meaningful look.
I'm sure there's somebody we could ask about this that would know more than we do.
Oh, like Ironbender, maybe?
That would be a great idea. You said that in a tone. I'm learning things.
He's gone.
It's going to be hard to catch him now, especially with James like that. And he kind of nods over. Or wait, is James down? Did they bring
He's-
James down?
No, I'm still upstairs.
You're
with
still
James.
up. Okay.
I was-
Especially with James, and he gestures up towards the top of the pagoda.
I would say this, that Bianca and James, enough time has passed with the bisection of the hand and everything, that if you all wanted to come down, you could.
No, James would probably go over to the bend.
You're heading towards the
Body
city?
of Ben. Yeah,
Oh,
Ben.
heading to Ben. Oh,
Ben
okay.
the dwarf.
Ben,
Okay.
that was Ed. He's
You're
gonna-
welcome.
How do I even know what happened? I mean, thank you. I will.
Because you woke up to my beautiful
I will-
face
I will
over
kiss
yours.
the ground you walk on. So just as long as you keep thunder waving me recklessly. And he walks over. He walks over to, and he is grateful to her. I mean, he's not like, I mean, I will.
She doesn't know that.
He blessed her. I mean, he's trying to help her. He didn't use it on himself. So he walks over to. He's going to go over and get the body of Ben.
Yeah, Ben's body's where you left it. It's only been moments since you saw it and were tossed off the top of the pagoda.
Yeah, okay. Brother Ben's dead body is over here. He picks it. He will pick it up and bring it out.
Oh, she takes a long sigh and eventually stands up. Still kind of keeps touching at her neck, which I think now you can see in the light is real bruised. But she'll walk over.
You both would see that Chirp is helping Dread, who her sword is gone, the fire on her face is gone, and she seems to be kind of breathing heavily as Chirp is kind of holding her from like mid bicep and forearm, kind of almost supporting her in a way. But they seem to be moving back down towards the third level.
Mm-hmm. What can I tell about this body? Like basically what I want to know is how long it's been dead.
Sure, give me a medicine check and I'll let you know.
Can I help her too?
I'll say that I will give one of you advantage with the help.
I have a
Plus
3.
3.
What do you have?
3.
Yeah,
Good.
okay. Why don't you guidance me?
Don't
Okay.
you have advantage all day today?
Yeah. I'm telling him to give me the guidance.
I will guidance her.
Okay, here we go. 19.
About an hour, you would think, give or take. In fact, you still feel a warmth to him in sections. As soon as he's brought over, you realize that there are what look to be like freeze burns on his chest, about the size of a flail.
So, like, he
must have ran up here when he left.
Right, to get something? But Dag saw him leave town, so something's got his face.
Was that the Ben that we sent out?
Can I tell with the... Okay, so about an hour. It's been like an hour and a half since I saw Ben last.
Yeah, roughly. I know we've been playing with time a bit because we had so many people in different places, but it lines up to be right around the time that you last saw him. Give or take 15, like a half hour after that. This isn't CSI, but I mean, you can using warmth and your knowledge of medicine. It's been recent.
James will begin to take him downstairs. Go to put him on a bed. Put him somewhere that pay respects. He's hurt himself. He's limping bad, and he's like, thank you, Bianca, for helping me. Thank you. I don't know what that was. I don't know what they were.
As soon as you would get to like the third floor, there would be gasps and cries as Sister Tasha and Sister Ott see the body of Brother Ben. And they would rush to him and basically take him out of your arms as they, kind of guide you and have you place him on the bed that you just vacated, the bed of his room, and sit him down on this, kind of lay him to rest as they're crying. And it's at that time that you pick up on the strangest things in times of trauma. And Sister Ott looks up. She says, "Why are there so many candles in here?" But let's cut back down to the people that are in the grass. I need you, the 3 that are by where the body was, to roll me perception checks, please. Roberts, as you are contemplating the unsettling nature of a disintegrating body and a corporal hand, you notice that there is a band of what appears to be ruby lying in the grass. About the size of a ring.
She will bend down and pick it up. I'll remind everyone she's wearing gloves at this moment.
It's always important on this channel to remember
It's
when you're
just-
wearing gloves.
Yeah.
Damn, foiled again. You pick it up. It is a perfectly cut ring, like one that you would wear as jewelry. It's made of the gem. It's not made of a red metal. It's not made of, it's translucent. You can see light passing through it. There is no, at least to your first observation, there's no markings on it. It seems completely smooth and finely cut.
I wouldn't like casually remember anybody wearing this, right?
This is a very distinct ring.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. She just holds it up a little bit to make it like seen to the other two. Odd place to leave a ring.
Think this thing was wearing it?
I doubt it.
Can I discern if it's like a natural ruby or a natural stone of the earth?
Sure, roll me a nature check.
18.
It really seems to, just the feeling of it beneath your fingers, the opacity of it, everything seems to line up as it being a ruby. Or a cut piece of ruby.
That is quite the large ruby to be carving to make a ring of that size, so it must have been made for somebody important.
She shrugs a little bit and she'll pocket it.
Put one ruby ring on your inventory, please.
Oh, I already did. We should get back inside to the others. James did not look good.
And if there's any magic in that ring, I think James would know. He stands up, kind of stretches his back, wipes kind of the little bit of blood that's still sticking to his face, and he kind of cleans it off of one of his tusks, the tusk that's not entirely broken or halfway broken. He smiles to Ulsik and then to Roberts and nods to Roberts and says, "That was fun. Haven't had a fight like that in a while."
She kind of smiles and nods a little bit. I think it would be more fun if I weren't so concerned about what it means for us.
We'll figure it out. I'm confident.
And I think as they're kind of like walking back inside, the horses are still here, I'm assuming, right?
They're a little wet, but they're still alive and kicking. They're tethered
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Is the knight also there with the horses? Sir Jessup?
Sir Jessup did not arrive. So,
Okay.
Chirp brought the horses and said that Sir Jessup was taking some time out of the saddle.
Ollie's there, right?
Yeah. Ollie had run off. He's on the third floor.
Yeah. Do we still want to leave today to go after Ironbender? Or do we even think that he's that way anymore?
I do, but I don't think James will be well enough to travel today. We can all benefit from resting, but I think if we wait,
We could miss him.
it'll be too late, perhaps.
I can, if we can rummage through his things, I might be able to take his sand or something to help us track him.
I would be careful with the sand.
It seems strange. I don't intend on
Cursed.
taking it. But maybe an article of his clothing somewhere, or one of his possessions.
She just nods a little bit.
Perhaps
can-
there's another healer in town, one that could help.
Or maybe, while everyone is distracted with everything upstairs, we could sneak into his lodgings and take one or two of his things.
No one's going to stop us.
No, I don't think so. Ulfsic, by all means, if you know best what will help you, you might as well go up while we check on the others and see if there's any way we could potentially be ready to travel today.
I know what I know. I don't know if it is the best, but it is something.
Well, you were incredible in there today.
Thank you.
She nods.
Well, you guys take some of these things and give them to James, okay? And he, in his little leather pauldron, digs out 3 boom shrooms and hands them. You can take them for yourself, or you can give them to him, but they might make him feel good if you can get past of the taste.
Thank you.
And then he'll take one out himself and eat it.
Yukna doesn't care. He'll pop one into his mouth. What's it taste like, Billy?
It's really strong, like really bitter, like biting into like raw wormwood bark. And then once you get past the hard coating, there's like an explosion of soft, pussy stuff that tastes like nothing. This tastes like
So
cotton
no
candy
redeeming
without the sugar.
qualities
Right.
to this.
Right.
Kind of works it around in
Right.
his mouth, and you hear like, so good.
I'm gonna keep that for later, but I'll take James's too.
Okay, good. In about a day, it'll shrivel up into nothing. So it's better to eat it sooner than later.
Right. Thank you again.
Okay. Well, if you want to go see James, I'll go hunt for iron vendors. Thanks.
Be careful.
Oh, I will try. Do you know where his lodgings are in the pagoda? If it's stays in the pagoda?
I'm sure we could ask somebody, but I have no idea.
And that would draw suspicion.
I don't think anybody's going to be too suspicious of us, and in any case, they would want to find Ironbender, and if they thought that an item of clothing might help.
He did seem to spend a lot of time up on top. Perhaps he left something up there.
Okay, I'll go check there then. Tell Bianca I said hello.
You'll see her again soon.
Okay.
Oh, okay, good.
And we'll go to the 3rd floor.
Okay, so as you're walking back up, we're going to go back to the room of Ben where everybody is there. Sister Ott has just said, why are there so many candles in here?
Can we make a perception check?
What's weird about the candles?
Yeah.
There's too many, if you're asking Sister Ott.
I was kind of asking her and kind of asking you.
Who? Me?
Yeah, you're asking Greg.
Yeah.
They look like candles, and Sister Ott would say, there's too many of them. James would
What?
realize that whenever he took a nap here before, there were candles everywhere.
Why is that weird? Maybe he likes to read late at night.
I did not light these candles. They were here when I went to sleep. I'm assuming they're the same amount of candles. So I noticed an exuberant amount of candles from before.
Yeah, it was part of the narrative before. I told you there was just a ton of candles there.
Okay.
But other than that, it's a Spartan room.
Who's been in this room before me?
Just him, as they're just kind of holding his hands and...
Ben's room, right?
Okay. Bianca has a really hard look on her face. The fact that they're all having these emotions about Ben it's not really high on the priority list right now. I want to look around his stuff. Candles. Ugh. Yeah, I want to look through all his stuff, and they can ask me what I'm doing, but I'm not going to offer it.
No, they're distraught.
Yeah.
And we're going to say
Bianca does that. He'll guidance her and then help them. He'll kind of like comfort them so she can do what she needs to do.
yeah, they don't seem to pay any attention as you're looking around, but what are you investigating predominantly?
I'm trying to see if there's just anything, like books or writings of his, any personal objects? Are the candles arranged in a certain way? Things like that.
Roll me an investigation check, please.
Okay.
I give her guidance.
Oh, thank you. Let me do 23.
You look around and there's nothing, as described before to James when he kind of tossed the room of Brother Ben. It's very Spartan. You find that there are robes in there depicting somebody of, or for somebody of his stature or prior stature. As you look around, though, and as you look at the candles, you realize that numerous candles do not hold wax grabs. They haven't been lit. You can see that one or two of them have, the wax that's run down and affixed the candle to the seal grabbed at the wax grab. But several of them appear not to have been lit at all.
Can I make a religion check?
Sure.
I'll use guidance for myself. Ooh, well, that's terrible, as usual.
The best that you can come up with here, James, is that these could be used for religious purposes. There's nothing that would stop someone from using candles of this type for religious purposes, but nothing comes out at you as a specific ritual or a sect or even a religion that would use candles of this type. They appear rather plain.
What do you think, Bianca?
She just kind of, after standing there for a bit, just kicks the door really hard and walks out.
Yep. James will continue to do prayers over to Ben,
Sure.
God will bless him, make his journey well, give us knowledge, make us learn from him, make us see. He kind of touches it. I mean, channel divinity I could do, potentially, praying to Ogma.
For...
Maybe to learn what happened in the room, potentially? Potentially what happened to him? We already know what happened to him, but...
Do you have a spell you could flavor? I'll listen. I always listen.
I have no spells right now. I have been washed of them.
I tell you what, then if you're just praying with the loyalty and faith of an Ogman servant, just roll me a D100.
Yeah, what's the thing that I get where I get a 10% chance of...
You don't have that yet.
Yeah, I don't have that yet.
I mean, as always, because you are a man of faith, you believe that Ogma has heard your prayers. If there is a response, which there seldom is, unless you're channeling, the divine.
Right.
Ogma does not answer.
He just continues to pray over him.
Is Thrillquill here on this floor?
Right across the hall, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to her.
Sure. Dread is in a bed that has been pushed up, so now there's 3 beds. All 3 of them. One has Dread in it, one, Thrillquill still lays there. She has pulled herself up to her elbows, though, as if she was waiting to see what happened above. And now she's concerned with Dread as she's, kind of on her side.
Hi.
Hi.
So, quick question. You said Ironbender gave you that book?
Yes.
Why?
He needed it translated. He couldn't understand it.
Did he say who gave it to him?
Prue Kellogg.
Wonderful.
Do you think she's behind this, or?
She's dead.
I guess that's a no.
How you doing, Millie?
Millie is covered in sweat.
You're glowing.
I'm fine.
I know. That was pretty cool.
Chirp is looking at you and looking at them. Sort of looking for guidance.
Bianca's just gonna sit on the floor near Thrillquill's bed and just like prop herself up against the bedside, which is where she started all this. Did anything seem off about him when he gave it to you?
No? He's always sort of off, but no more so than usual. He said he had more books for me to look for, but this was just the one he wanted me to start with, if that helps.
Well, I guess James is wrong then. And a little bit of knowledge can be a dangerous thing.
Apparently.
The bastards need to borrow Jeff.
Are they going to give him back?
Well, he is very charming, so I cannot promise anything.
What's their
But
plan?
yes, they're going to keep an eye out on the bend without breaking their orders.
Of course, they can. Jeff is his own person, but yes, he has my permission. I won't be performing. Not
Really?
tonight, anyway. They won't.
That surprises me.
She smiles a bit. They won't let me.
Oh. You mean she won't let you?
She winks.
And she's just gonna sit there and stew until she sees the others.
Yeah, at this point, the others would come up. James is still in Brother Ben's room. Bianca is in the room, the ward now, with Throquill and Dread. Chirp is against the wall. Ollie has just come back up there, Beer Breaker. He went off to get the bastards when he heard the fighting happen, and Dread ran upstairs, and the bastards have started to come up. Captain Voight is there as well. They seem to be ready to ride, but have not actually departed yet, as it's only been really minutes. Everyone of merit, I guess, is gathered here. But what would you all like to do? You have your NPC resources at your disposal should you need them.
Is Thrillquill awake, or was Bianca talking to her inside her head?
She's awake.
Okay, cool. In that case, Yuknon sees that, and he kind of like slinks into the room, and he says, Bianca, Wolf6 says hello. He wanted me to tell you that. I don't know why, but he says hello. And at the same time, he pulls out a little slip of paper and a little quill. And he he stoops low because he's so tall, and he kind of tries to make himself look smaller. He like sheepishly approaches, and he says, Thrillquill, I'm glad you're all right. Will you be performing tonight?
She smiles. I'm afraid they won't let me.
Oh, well, I suppose that's probably for the best. Could I have your autograph? What? He like slowly is shifting the paper and the quill over to her.
I think at this point, Roberts comes and stands in the doorway, and she says, "You owe one to Kano's daughter as well."
Yes, of course, of course. She pulls herself up, and as described before, not to flavor the scene, she's has just a sheet on essentially. She kind of pulls herself over and pats the bed beside her for Yuknon to sit down beside her.
Uh, Thank you. And he sits down, and again, he sloops his shoulders so that he makes himself look as small as he can.
And is this like a ribbon of paper, or is it like a square of paper, or?
It's like a piece of parchment that looks like it's been torn out of another piece of parchment, so it's about a fourth a piece of parchment
Okay.
with jagged edges.
As he sits down, Bianca kind of laughs to herself just for a second and then goes off to find Ulfi.
Oh yeah, Roberts wanted to talk to you anyway. So if you like get up and move to leave the room, she'll try and like catch you.
Yeah, you can all be wherever you need to be on the third floor or any place. What ends up happening briefly with Yuknon and Throquil would sign the back of it to my friend that saw me through thick and thin, love, Throquil. And she then looks over and sees that Dread is asleep, and she holds up the piece of paper, the torn parchment, wraps one of her arms around your neck, and she pulls it over in front of the two of you, and she kisses your cheek, and you see the image of the two of you burn into the paper in almost like a sketch. And
Selfie.
it's a selfie.
And he has the biggest, like, dumbest, like, his mouth is dropped open, his broken fang is like sticking out, or his broken tusk is sticking out, and his other tusk is like sticking out at another angle, and he just looks really excited and really dumb. And as soon as the sketchy the selfie is taken, he takes it and he looks at him and he says, "Oh, thank you, big fan, big fan."
Thank you, she says as she kind of slumps back down. The hallway, Roberts, Ulfi, Bianca.
I think as soon as they're like out of range of everybody else, she looks at Bianca and goes, "You need to sit down.
I'm fine.
You look like shit."
You want something to eat? Are you hungry? I have.
Why do you always ask me that?
Because maybe you might be, and I would like to make you not be hungry.
Bianca, why don't you sit down just for a little bit?
I'm not a child. I'm fine.
You're not.
You can eat one of these. It might make you feel better. Holds up a boom shroom.
I may not have stabbed anything, but I think I contributed as much as any of you did.
I'm not saying that you didn't, Roberts. Are you?
And I'm
No, of
fine.
course
James, go, Mother James.
I'm just worried about you, Saul.
And I'm sweating.
Just in general, or because of?
I feel like there is conflict happening, and my hands are getting clammy.
Oh.
But I mean, it would make you feel better, like in your body, maybe not in your head.
I just don't feel like eating.
Okay.
How bad is it?
How bad is what?
She like rips off her necklace and is like, this.
You all would
You're-
see deep bruising, and even in some places the actual definition of the links, the thick links from the chain, it's pronounced.
There's markings. Does it still hurt? sorry that happened.
Thanks.
Do you need the hug?
I don't really want to be touched right now.
Okay. He like disengages from the and like rests his hands on the bottom of his rib cage, confused as hell.
She kind of reaches up and like tugs on the fur that he wears.
Oh, hello. Can I help you?
I don't know. And she'll start walking down the stairs outside.
If I asked you to help me with something, would you do that?
She stops. Yeah.
How do you feel about stealing things?
Do
He
you even have
whispers
to
in-
ask?
Good.
Are they going to be shiny at least?
I guess we can find out when we go to the place where the stealing of the things will happen.
Great.
Roberts, would you like to come as
Oh,
well?
she's already walked away.
Oh, she's good at not drawing attention to herself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it's just you and me, then.
Good.
You seem a lot smarter than I do. So, do you think that Iron Bender stays in the pagoda here somewhere?
Probably. I didn't get a good look around the top there. Maybe there's a bed or something.
Let us go check it out.
Great.
I'm going to take this mushroom, and I'm going to set it at the part of my pants where my butt comes out, so it stays there. So if you want it, as I'm walking up the stairs, you can just have it. You don't need to ask for it, and then I'm not asking you to take it.
He's got strange.
What do you mean where your butt comes out?
What do you mean where your butt comes out?
Like the top of the pants, I'm gonna stick it in the top of my pants so she can grab it if she wants it.
Your
Don't-
butt should stay in your pants.
Don't make this
What?
weird, everybody. It's just butt crack boom shroom. I mean, you guys haven't heard of that before.
It's very popular with the
You hit points.
Natural table.
Yeah, I'll just start walking upstairs, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be concerned about the mushroom placement but not do anything about it.
Okay, I'm learning how to
Right. So
Make
step
people
one, when
don't-
you're walking with a lady, don't offer her food that's touched your butt crack.
But you are my sister.
But I'm not your sister.
You said it.
Right, but
Does that mean that you can say it and have it be true in some places and then have it be a lie in the other places? I feel like you have to pick one. I'm okay with your choice. I like you.
you don't want to be my brother.
I don't think that that was an answer because I didn't.
It's called a deflection.
Oh, like in combat. Oh, yes. Okay.
Yep.
I didn't have a say in the matter the first time. And you just kind of did it. And I kind of liked it because don't have a lot of people that I can be close with. So I took it like it was real. because I guess deep down I kind of wanted it to be. If you don't want it, then that it won't. You know, I've been alone. But
Sure. No, I'm your sister.
good, 'cause
Sure.
that means you can have all the mushrooms you want.
Where are you keeping them though?
And with that question, as we peel away from brother and sister as they ascend to the top of the pagoda, I'm assuming you're all attempting to go to the roof. Is that what you said before? Like you're going to go until you find like a living quarters and somebody.
Mhm.
Okay. So we'll cut away from there. We'll say that you're able to circumnavigate the sand now that you're aware of what has, transpired. You have found a ladder on the far side to get to the roof, but I want to see what Roberts is doing right now, as she had left the room and a selfie had been taken. James is praying over the body of the fallen Brother Ben in Brother Ben's room, but where, oh, where is Roberts?
She kind of walked by the room just to look in on the Brother Ben situation. She didn't come inside or say anything. She just kind of passed by.
Okay.
Sister Ott and Sister Tasha are both in there, correct?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, I think she just wanted to make sure that they were safe, like that they were well. And then she went to one of the, like, I guess it was the room that they were first in, just to kind of be by herself and sit down, and she pulls out that book.
Okay.
That scaly book. Does it still have a title on it, or is that all gone?
Yeah, there was a title that had been on the spine before, but that was back when it looked like a normal book. And by normal, I mean normal binding, normal, something you would find in, a collection. This, however, is now covered in scales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she's just kind of got it in her lap, and the ruby ring as well. Just all these things that she's kind of gathered since she got here, and she's just looking at them. And I think she keeps almost opening the book, but then she doesn't, because she's afraid of what it will do. So she's just kind of spending some time looking at this, but not really looking at it.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that she's not, like you said, she's not opening the book, she's not putting the ring on, she's not doing anything like that, just kind of observing them, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's doing like a vibe check.
Do a vibe check, all right.
Yeah.
Got good vibes. No roll needed.
Right. Awesome. Love these good vibrations.
James, at this point, Sister Tasha and Sister Ott have left and are beginning like funereal preparations. They've covered Brother Ben's body in a sheet. I mean, you still have access to it should you wish to examine it, but they've left you alone in the room, at least temporarily.
Okay. I'm assuming I don't. He definitely. I'm assuming I've already examined the body before. That's what he was kind of doing as he was praying on him.
Right.
And then he assumes that whatever attacked us attacked him and killed him. It looks like the same marks, I'm assuming.
Looks like the same type of damage, yes.
Yeah, he would. I mean, if he's, to him, these candles aren't strange. So he's kind of like somebody must have lit them before. He would definitely probably get up to go talk to Thrillquill. He has some more questions for her before, that's what he would end up leaving the room. But I'll make a perception check if you want me to before I leave the room or anything out of the ordinary.
Perception is generally glancing around. Investigation is looking at something in particular. I'll let you make either on anything.
We've already looked at the candles. I've already scavenged the room. I'll take one last look at Ben, and I'd say, go with peace, brother. And he goes to turn to leave the room. He's going to go over to Thrillquill, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, you leave him alone, and Thrillquill is still awake. You'd probably pass Yuknon on his way out.
Yuknon, how are you?
Pats James on the shoulder. I'm fine. We'll need to leave soon, James. Are you okay to travel?
Why do we need to leave?
We have to find Ironbender.
You think we can find him?
We can find him. I have faith. The gods were with us today, James.
Yes, I'd say they maybe were, I suppose. I don't feel like the gods were with me today. He kind of laughs. But I am alive. Barely.
Yugnan smiles at that and he says, well, your god was with us. I could feel it. And whatever those things were up there.
I don't know what they were. Did you find out anything with them?
Something about stars.
Stars?
I don't understand it, but I don't think it has anything to do with the gods.
That's the same kind of book that Thrillquill was reading about astrology.
Yes.
That can't be a coincidence.
When Roberts and I met in a dream, or whatever it was, there was a being then with stars in his eyes.
Stars.
The ley lines. Something is feeding off of them, James. That's why we're all here. To stop it. The ley lines brought us here. That strange tree told us so. And now Ironbender has run off, we think, to the well.
To the well, you think? We were just up there. That's a dangerous, dangerous place.
That's what Robert said. But we've gathered some horses, and Sir Jessup and his squire are going to help us. I know you need your rest, but I'm not sure there's time. An hour, maybe.
How long is the ride to there? Do we know? 3 hours?
3 days.
Oh, 3 days.
That's
Oh,
right.
We can rest on the way there. Okay. We're gonna have to rest, Yuknon. I'm in no shape. I have nothing left. I'm spent.
The sooner
Yeah,
we
we
leave, we can rest on the way, but I'm hoping we can catch Ironbender. I'm hoping he's on foot.
Does the rest of the group want to leave?
Well, we haven't gotten a chance to talk to all of them about it yet.
All right, I will. If the group wants to leave, then I will most certainly leave the band behind. But I need to talk to Thrillquill. Maybe you could join me if you'd like.
No, I don't want to take up too much of her time. Please, you enjoy yourself. And he kind of goes.
Yuknon, he stops him real quick. Yuknon, real quick, and he pulls out 5 gold pieces and hands them back to him. I want to thank you for helping me before. I owe you this.
Oh, well, of course. I've always played it so that if you're in an adventuring party, everyone shares.
That was an adventuring party, and we shared pretty much everything. You 4 were fantastic up there.
You too, James. You too.
And he kind
I'm
of,
glad you're feeling better.
I wouldn't say better, but I'm alive and kicking, and thanks to Ogma, as you said.
That's right. Thanks to the gods. And he smiles again, and he just kind of slips past James and gives him one more pat on the shoulder.
James would head for Thrillquill, unless you have something else you want to do, Drake.
What we're gonna do is I want a perception check from Roberts.
Oh, heck. I'll use advantage.
Sure.
Oh. 15.
As in the narrative before, as the pagoda rolls down into the bend, it hits the town square kind of at the corner there, and you are able to see the various places that you frequented, the tea room, Dag's Nabbit, and you're not sure exactly why it strikes you as something, but it's dark because of the storm. The rain has stopped, but it's still kind of a almost like an after sunset darkness. and you see in the top window of Dag's Nabbit a candle light. It's the only such candle that you see illuminated. But we're going to cut to the top of the pagoda, and Ulfsik and Bianca, when you get up there, you realize that there is a very rudimentary lean-to.
Oh, look, he was staying up here. Is it like in the sand? Where in relation to the sand is it?
It's on the very roof of the pagoda. It's, when you ascend like one level above where the sand is, it's the roof, and there is just kind of like a pebbled top to the pagoda and a lean-to kind of in the very middle.
I guess that's a place to start.
I'm gonna raise an eyebrow and I'm gonna get suspicious and check for any sort of traps or any sort of security systems.
Sure, give me an investigation check.
I'm gonna use an advantage. You find it. I'm gonna use an advantage on this bad boy.
Sure, yeah, sure.
17.
Nice.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be trapped in any way, but I will use your investigation check, since you were so nice to spend advantage, and tell you two things. That it looks like inside the lean-to there is a pallet that could either be used for meditation or perhaps sleep. Beside that, you can see very visible a red scaled book and a white scaled book. And that is where we will end this session of the Realms Remembered. Yay! But before we go forward, we have to say what's going on, so let's end as we do with some music.
3,000 miles from home, trying to say that I will get there soon. 30 days I walk down this way, singing my madness to the moon. I met a cat on a tree, and it talked to me about things we don't see. I asked it, how do I know which is the right way to go to get me home? And it said, don't look for a reason, don't look for another way, 'cause anyway we'll get you home. You can't get lost if you don't know where you go.
And we're back. Let's go around and say goodbye to all of our friends as we end another session of the Realms Remembered. My fantastic friends I get to play with every Monday night, and the fantastic Legion who saved their lives this evening. Let's go around. We'll start with Lauren, my friend. How are you?
I'm great. Why wouldn't I be great? No, I am. God damn it. Okay. Yes. What am I supposed to be doing right now? Outros? Right. Sure. Lauren, that's Salty Ginger over on Twitter, part of the Tales from the Grim team. I've been here literally 2 years, and I still cannot predict what that guy right there is going to do. Yeah, that one. No idea. And that's why I keep coming back. And also because, he's my friend or whatever. As is everyone here. I'm very happy. This is my happy phase. I'm gonna be playing in Deadlands and soon. See you there.
That's right. Billy, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing dandy. This is getting rich. I'm loving all of this. I feel like, I don't know, I feel good. Vibes coming from all of this stuff. It's keeping me on my toes, and I love who I'm playing with. I love the channel. I love Legion. If you want to follow me, I'm Bill of the Forest. If you don't, perfectly understandable. I do the Wednesday night show, My Black Roses Bloom, which has the finale, but we got an epilogue coming up at a to be determined date. And then I'm here on Mondays. So y'all, thank you for tuning in, and thanks for playing with me.
Oh, I can speak for myself. Thank you, buddy. You are a brilliant character, to say the least, both on stream and off. Summer, my friend, how are you?
I'm doing great. We did it. We didn't die. None of us died. It was
Right.
close. It was a close call, but none of us died. We did amazing. We killed them. We got their hand. We got some stuff. It's all great. I'm loving it. I can't wait to find out more. And I would just like to say, me and Lauren were right about the books. We were right.
Congratulations, us.
Congratulations to us.
You
that we were
cracked the
exactly
case
right
wide open.
about
Wide open. We
Oh,
connected.
we connected the two dots.
Right. I found the other dot. Draw a line.
Yeah, I'm Summer. You can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job. That's where I tweet about everything that I'm doing, mostly retweets because I'm too lazy to tweet about it myself. But yeah, if you're interested in everything that I do, you can follow me there. Yes, and I will be back here to not read this book, but we're gonna get them together. We need to get this little library going.
Sounds good. Steve, my friend, how are you? I swear that I don't go into this, even though in the pre-show that we did, I always said kill the cleric. I really didn't mean it, but
This has been a brutal like 4 sessions in a row for me. I am just like every time I think, well, it's not going to get much worse than this. No, it gets worse.
good times are coming. I can feel it.
I've been through the ringer, that's for sure. I think I've lost a total of 48 points, hit points in the past 2 sessions. So, but I'm still in there. I thought it was great. These guys fought well. Billy's spear throws were fantastic. I called him a regular Tom Brady. He commented on Baker Mayfield, which kind of like ruined all comments for that one. But other than that, this was fantastic. Like Lauren said, I've been playing with her and you for 2 years now, I guess. And, we've played before, of course, but this has been fantastic. And I love Summer, Dawn, Billy, Lauren, you. I love you all. And I'll see you next week. Thank you. And I'm Deadlands. I'll be there too, I guess.
Deadlands momentarily. Right, let's go over to Dawn. Dawn, my friend, how are you doing? And the selfie was one of my favorite things ever.
I hate selfies, actually, in real life, but I was very happy to have them. Yugnan loved it. I had a great time. It was a really fun boss fight. I really enjoyed it. It was fun to see everybody kind of work together and all of their strengths kind of play a part in that encounter. I like the deepening mystery and little character moments that we got. I'm just really enjoying it every single session. And this session's, if not my favorite, definitely one of my favorites so far. So that was great. You can find me online at Jonathan Fry on Twitter. I am the Dungeon Master for May Black Roses Bloom. We will have a epilogue holiday special. We're still working out the details on that. It's going to be awesome. I don't know when it's going to be, but we'll definitely keep you in tune. So I guess the only thing I'll shout out, there's a Game of Thrones campaign on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's been going on for a long time. I love that campaign too. It's back again, and the next session is this Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on RPG Webby, Sam Webby's channel on Twitch. So check that out if you haven't seen the Game of Thrones game. Other than that, check out everything everybody else is doing. They're all amazing people.
Fantastic, my friend, fantastic. As for me, I am Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, part of the Tales from the Grim team on the Twitch. We've got Deadlands coming up, everybody, so we're going to go dark for about 5 or 10 minutes, just enough time for me to put a scar on and a cowboy hat. And then we are going to get back in here as Marshall Jim is going to take us into the Weird West. It's something else. We had a hanging last episode that didn't go to plan. There was a hanging. It just was the wrong neck in the noose. Let's hope it's not one of ours this time. But yeah, yeehaw, mount up, everybody. We're getting ready to have some fun. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Follow all these people. You can see that there are links to their Twitters down below. And if you ever get a chance, please join us in Discord. I've said it a lot, and I mean it a lot. This community is fantastic. It's filled with beautiful, kind people that will forever talk about RPGs and anything else to get you through the day, what more can you ask for from friends and a community? And so, as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s unless you're in this game. This game is insane. You can always role play. We'll see you in about 10 minutes, friends.